Hi, guys. Welcome to Rolling Admissions, a podcast where I, your host, Jalen Williams, interview college bound seniors on their college application process. Today, I have a very special guest.
Hey! First for best,
First, yeah. So, what's your name? Who are you?
I'm Jada Cox,
Oh, so where are you going this fall?
Columbia University,
And what's your major?
business.
Business. Okay.
Let me get the questionnaire that's on my phone.
So, tell me about your extracurriculars.
Mm, Most of my extracurriculars stemmed around volunteer work or were my own like jobs. So my main thing was my passion project. I have a passion project called Positively Remodeled. Follow us on Instagram. It's a passion project where we go around painting the stalls of bathrooms in elementary school and public schools, and it's just a little way to write affirmations for kids to make them feel a little bit better about themselves. And I have my positions and clubs at school, president of Women of Tomorrow, president of BSU, and I don't think I wrote any other club on there, but I do have a couple other positions. I wrote my internship at Miami Theater Center, where I worked also with kids and theater camp, and then I worked at Kumon. It's a very popular tutoring place and things of that nature.
Yeah, okay, okay. So very broad, very like you did a lot of different things. You didn't stick to one thing, basically. Okay. And how would you summarize your college application experience in like a sentence?
Trying but rewarding.
Trying but rewarding. Okay, I like that actually. That's positive. That's positive. So you applied ED to Columbia.
I did.
Okay, that's a big decision, right? I
It
mean, a
is.
big commitment. So what went into that decision and how did you know you were ready to commit to that school?
A lot of people come into high school or especially junior year and senior year knowing what schools they want to apply to or where they want to go, especially if you have a dream school because that's a very popular term. So a couple like people be like my dream school has been Yale since I was 6 and things like that, but I never had one. I never limited that for myself and I never desired to have one, especially because if I didn't get in, I didn't want to be distraught about it. So to ED Columbia, I was like, let me just shoot high, cause you never know. And in my case, it worked out. I got in, but before I ED'd, I made sure to tour the school, cause it was my first time visiting New York too when I toured the school, and I needed to see if I liked the campus, if I liked the nature of the people, the vibe. Did all my research online. When you write those supplements, you have to. Those YSAs, you need to be doing your research anyway. So, yeah, that's about
And
it.
yeah, what were some like was there anything specific that you were looking for that you found in Colombia or anything that you would suggest people really focus on when choosing that a school like that, like choosing to ED? Like student body or, major programs, anything.
Personally, I feel as if you can always feel when a school fits you. And that when you take into account location, because that was the big thing for me, where that school located matters so much because I'm from Miami and it's city down here, it's
Mhm.
diverse down here, it's so many things I like to take advantage of, and I didn't want to move too far from home either, so the East Coast was preferable, and
Yeah.
that was a big part of it for me. But then you got your extracurriculars such as clubs they offer, then sports, a lot of people care if they have D1 sports or whatnot, or just things that will cultivate the athletic fun culture, like the games and things like that. That wasn't too big for me. I cared, number one priority for me was location. I knew New York was a big city and I knew it would be diverse, and that's what I was looking for. I think that's very like encompassing of me as a person and what I've grown up around and who I've become. So I wanted to that to reflect in where my school was.
Mm. Okay. Okay, yeah. So, how did you know you wanted to study business at Columbia?
For me, that's like, people have families of doctors, people
Yeah.
have families of physicians, whatever. There's like things that people do. My brother and father are both very into business, so that was what pushed that onto me. And there's so many things, different types of businesses. The world revolves around business. So I know there's many different pathways I can go, and I haven't set my mind on any one thing yet. So I think I could use that business and take it in terms of myself and things I would like and find something in the future that will work with it.
So, it was just like broad and you felt like you had like like a lot of
Mhm.
possibilities in that way, and it didn't limit you basically.
Mhm.
Okay, okay, that's good. And how did you like explore that in high school in any way, or do any programs or activities that related to your major?
Ironically, like no.
Okay.
Like I took a business law class and maybe like two other business classes at MDC, the school where we do dual enrollment. And I was like, this is cool. Like, I'm down because you don't have to declare your major.
Yeah.
So I'm not too stressed out about that yet, about what major I'm majoring in, and I don't have a set dream or anything for a career. But I low key do want to be like a CEO, which is business related or entrepreneur. So that's why I was like, you know what? Okay, yeah. So.
So yeah, I mean that's interesting in itself because a lot of people will tell you like all your extracurriculars have to relate to your
Mhm.
major, like
Mhm.
they have to see a line or whatever they say.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I guess everybody's different, and you did a lot of different things that just showed what you were truly interested in.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
business, yeah, business is all encompassing anyways. So
Mhm.
okay, okay. And so what was it like? I mean, at our school it's a big deal, Ivies, right?
Yeah.
So what was it like applying to just a school of such high caliber? Did it was it different than was it different applying to Columbia than the other schools you were applying to?
Besides the fact that you have more supplementals and they get a little bit more what would be the word, comprehensive
Okay.
or introspective
Mm,
than many schools do. Like I'm thinking of the University of Miami or like University of Florida because that's a public school, so that's a good contrast. Theirs was about, I think, your extracurriculars, and that was about it. You had one about your extracurriculars, what you did outside of school. So for me, it was easy. Chose my passion project, wrote about that, and I already had that written actually because of other stuff you do when you're applying in your senior year.
hmm.
So I just reused that, reworded it, and rephrased it. But for Columbia, I had to like truly dive deep onto what I wanted to talk about and think about it and formulate it in the right sense. And then you always got to tie that back to the morals and values of the school because then they'll see you're fit for that student body. That was my little like hack with my applications.
So not only like a why you want to be there, but
Why they want me.
why they want you, why you should be there, why you have to be there.
Yeah. Neko.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's super interesting. And honestly, like, I just feel like you're one of the people that I've met that's had a unique experience applying to schools. Is there anything else you would want to mention about your application process?
I would say the biggest thing is like what we talked about. Don't try to think you have to be a certain character to get into a certain school. I mean, in my case, I feel like Columbia fit me as a person in terms of their values and morals. Their vision, I really think it fit me, and I think that was probably a part of it because it naturally comes out when you write and talk about yourself, and that connects with the school, so it's like easy and it co-aligns. But don't be like, you don't have to start a multi-million-dollar business. You don't have to be the president of every club, class
Yeah.
president. Do what you can with what you're available to. Like I half of my application was work and jobs. Because that's what I was presented with growing up in high school. It's not always easily accessible for everyone to do those things. So do what you can and do it to the best of your ability and be nice. I think that's a huge thing because I'm nice to my peers and teachers. I got good recommendation letters.
Mm-hmm.
They were very supportive with me through the whole process. And my friends helped me out so much. My brother helped me out so much. It was like, it wasn't anything unnecessary happening because of that.
And you were honest, and
Yeah.
and another thing also, I mean, Columbia is an Ivy, but you didn't just apply there because it's an Ivy.
Oh, definitely not. That's
Yeah.
something I say a lot. It's just the school I liked happened to be an Ivy.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that I wanted to go to an Ivy League school. I wasn't going to apply to a single other Ivy probably. It was just that the school I liked happened to be an Ivy. Like I would have probably been down for NYU too cuz it was New York. Like
Yeah.
that's where I wanted to be. But yeah.
Yeah. So that's another thing to mention that's super important. Like, really focusing on finding the school that fits you,
Mhm.
and not focusing on like, I mean, ranking like is important. Like, we all like look at the ranking of a school, but at the end of the day, like, you want to know that you'll be happy there, then it fits your values and what you want to spend like where you want to spend the rest of your 4 years, the next 4 years. So, Is there any other advice you would give to, um, I don't know, juniors that are going to be applying next year?
Um, Biggest piece of advice, and I know they hear this like a million times because I heard it a million times. Get that SAT out the way. Start that
Mm,
Common App early. Ask those rec letters early.
yeah,
In
big
order
on
to,
SAT.
it'll make it like, oh, SAT. I literally think is like the first step you need to get out of your way. Like, personally, I'm fine with sharing this. My SAT wasn't the score I wanted it to be. It wasn't nowhere near. Probably like over 200 lower than what I wanted it to be. But but test optional isn't gonna exist for these kids probably.
Oh yeah, okay. Another yeah. You
Yeah,
apply test optional. I
I've had
applied
test
to.
optional.
I'm not committed yet, but I've applied to a lot of schools test optional. But since that's not going to be an option for a lot of people next year,
Lock in.
lock in with the SAT. You do not want to be doing that your senior year. Try and
And
get yeah.
yeah, they tell you that, and listen. Well, at least our teachers and counselors told us that. So true, because you can't go home. You don't have the time to go home and spend hours studying for the SAT anymore. You have to go home and write those supplements
Yeah,
and do whatever other responsibilities you have to do on top of that. Like,
and still do extracurriculars and
keep up
still
your homework at
yeah,
school too. It could be a lot.
yeah.
It could be a lot.
SAT done by the summer
By
before your
summer,
senior
yeah,
year.
by that June when I think there's one in June.
Mhm.
Have that be the last one.
And if you have to, the August one. I did
Mhm.
take the August SAT
Mhm.
last year. So yeah, get your SAT out of the way. Get those rec letters. Um,
Be honest with yourself,
yeah, be honest with
but
yourself.
don't cheat yourself.
Yeah. Like
Dream big.
dream big, but also like don't don't write things that you think that they want to see.
Exactly. Be true to yourself.
Yeah.
Be true to yourself. You don't have to fit into this character. Be yourself because that'll show. And the best version of anyone could, like, just be you. I don't know what I was trying to say. It didn't come out right.
Mhm.
But I don't know. The best version of yourself is the version you already are.
Yeah. Cuz imagine you get accepted because of what you make yourself seem like you are, and then you go to the school and you don't fit in, or you don't, or not that you
Exactly.
don't fit in, but it doesn't feel
It doesn't
right.
feel right. And
Yeah,
then you wasted time. Then you got to come
exactly.
back home anyway. Like,
Transfer.
it's not worth it.
Yeah. So,
But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's an interesting process. You really reflect on yourself, and hopefully, all these 4 years paid off. As of right now, for me, it thankfully has, and
Hmm.
I believe it will for you too.
Yeah. I mean, we could talk about college applications for hours. Like,
We
there's
definitely
so
can.
many different things, and especially like depending on if you're an athlete, like whatever, like so many different aspects. But I think that we learned a lot today, or I learned a lot from you.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I know this stuff, but I relearned a lot today. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, super interesting. Thank you for coming on the first episode.
Okay.
See you guys next time.